Hello, I'm Dynasty Demir.
We are very privileged to be with you, particularly our brothers and sisters from the Caribbean and the diaspora. And the people from all over Africa, our brothers and sisters from all over Africa. I wish at this point to particularly to apologize deeply on behalf of the chiefs and people of Gold Coast and Ghana for the atrocities, the cruelty, the inhuman treatment that were committed 400 years ago by my ancestors during the Atlantic slave trade, where over 400 years ago, millions of our brothers and sisters were captured, sold, and transported under inhumane and cruel circumstances through Elmina Castle across to the Caribbean and to the New World. On behalf of the chiefs and people of Ghana, I do render unqualified apology, deep from the bottom of our hearts. Deep from our bottom of our hearts. But one thing that I want you to be aware of, it was not without resistance. Some of our chiefs did fought and resisted. Some of our people did fought and resisted. But we are fighting a losing battle against a stronger army. People with guns, and we had no guns. They deceived us with liquor and all other temptations. Whatever the circumstances that led us to us, we stand here to render apology. And it's my wish and prayer that this apology is accepted. It's accepted deep by our brothers and sisters from the diaspora. May the blood of Jesus assist us to overcome that evil, that never again should we witness this cruelty, this inhuman cruelty of man to man in this country. I thank you, and once again, on behalf of the chiefs and people of Ghana, we do render this apology. And I ask my colleague to add a few words to what I have said to you. And it's my wish and prayer that in the name of the blood of Jesus, you do accept our apology. Thank you very much.
We stand here once again symbolically at the gate of no return. We stand here as husband and wife. We stand here as the African male and as the African woman, the African family, the African community, the representatives of an African nation in a diaspora. We have come to say that we've heard your words. We have discerned through our experience and through our journey that what the devil meant for evil, God meant for good. Through all our trials, through all our tribulations, God has a plan. That plan involves us standing together.
Elijah Muhammad told us not to bother Malcolm.
Do not raise a hand against Malcolm X. He said that in the temple. I was there.
His words would leave Malcolm alone.
He was on the inside of the black Muslim specialty squad. And I know it. And it was he who heard Elijah Muhammad Jr. come to New York when Elijah Muhammad was at the Armory in June of last year. Jr. stood up and told the fruit, many of whom are here now also, that I should have been killed.
Yes, I was there. I heard him. That was Elijah Muhammad Jr. And it was about, I would estimate about 700 people there at the time, plus officials in the Nation of Islam at the time from all over the country, security officials, and the captains of various mosques, their aides, and so forth. Yes.
Do you believe that that had anything or much to do with Malcolm eventually being murdered?
Probably so. I would guess so.
Leave Minister Malcolm alone. Those were orders. Those were instructions to us. Leave this man alone.
Jr. stood up and told the fruit, many of whom are here now also, that I should have been killed, that my tongue should have been put in an envelope and sent back to Chicago by now.
Personal frailties were played upon, jealousy arose, and Malcolm was ultimately ousted from that organization. This caused an intense climate of rivalry that set the stage for Malcolm's assassination in February of 1965.
He was really declared a hypocrite at the time. And because of some of the things that he was saying in regards to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, may God be pleased with him, a strong position was really taken against him. The ministers began to speak out against the things that Malcolm was saying in regards to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, accusations that he had made about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He had accused the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, for instance, of fathering children and etc. And you must understand that at that time, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, to the Muslims then, was held in such high reverence as you would even think of any prophet being held in high reverence. And this is the kind of love and admiration that the Muslims at that time had for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So when Minister Malcolm began to say those things, it was taken as an outright lie. And that he was actually castigating and defaming, actually, the messenger. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad was known at that time as the messenger of God. That was the title he used. And for those who followed him, that is what he was accepted as at that time, you see.
Were there any actual words that you heard from ministers, mosque ministers, suggesting that his life should be taken?
No, I couldn't say that. I couldn't say that. I could only...
But it was inference.
I would say that, take for instance, one time in the Muhammad Speaks at that time, the newspaper printed a big article concerning the chief hypocrite. And it actually had a picture of Malcolm's head, you know, rolling or bouncing down the street at that time. And, you know, the way that picture is depicted, you know, he has little horns on his head and things like this here. So indirectly, I would say that a very, very strong position was taken against him.
Yes, he's immoral. You can't take 9 teenage women and seduce them and give them babies and not tell me and then tell me you're moral. You could do it if you admitted you did it and admitted that the babies were yours. I'd shake your hand and call you a man. A good one, too. But anytime you seduce teenage girls and make them be charged with adultery, make them hide your crime, why, you're not even a man, much less a divine man. So, and this is what he did. He took at least 9 that we know about. And I'm not speculating because he told this to me himself. Yes, that's why he wanted me dead, because he knew that as soon as I woke up, I'd tell it.
The plan of action was basically what took place. Me and Leon, we took seats down in the front the Audubon, we came early. We would drift into the Audubon. If indeed there was a search, then we could never enter. There was no search, so we drifted in just like we had hoped to. Leon Davis and myself took seats down front on the left-hand side. Benjamin and William, who carried the sort-of shotgun, sat right behind us, you know. And Wilbur sat somewhat in the back or almost in the middle. And our plan was, as soon as the brother came out to speak, that Wilbur would throw the smoke bomb to make a distraction, and that William would fire his shotgun, and that Leon and myself, we would fire our weapons, and then this break for the door.
And without any further ado, I bring before you Minister Malcolm, and I pray that you and I will listen, hear, and understand. Thank you.
As in Dr. King's assassination, a police superior has trouble with the truth. He tells reporters that 2 suspects were arrested at the Audubon. Later, official police reports say that 1 was arrested. Also, listen closely as the police official carefully handles the question about police on the scene.
We have 2 suspects in custody now.
Where were they arrested? Fired the shot?
I wouldn't know that at this time.
Where were they arrested, sir?
One of these men was arrested on the street by one of our patrolmen close by.
There were no police at this meeting, were there, Inspector?
There were no uniformed policemen assigned inside this ballroom.
No uniform police on the scene. Does this mean that police out of uniform were there? And if so, why didn't they take action? What were they doing there? This behavior pattern rings a bell of striking similarity with the behavior pattern of the CIA overseas.
God has made me a better man for you than Malcolm X. I'm standing where Malcolm would have stood if he had the character to stand where I'm standing. And frankly, it ain't none of your business. What have you got to say about it? Did you teach Malcolm? Did you make Malcolm? Did you clean up Malcolm? Did you put Malcolm out before the world? Was Malcolm your traitor or was he ours? And if we dealt with him like a nation deals with a traitor, what the hell business is it of yours? You just shut your mouth and stay out of it.
I've been to just about every slave dungeon in West Africa. I have sat down with elders, chiefs, kings of numerous tribes / ethnic groups in West Africa, and the story is the same. We were sold to white people for umbrellas, muskets, rum. We were sold mirrors. We were sold to white people. And these chiefs, these elders, these kings have apologized. They admit. They don't deflect. They don't blame the white man. They don't deflect to the white man. They admit that they were complicit with the white man and that we need healing. And truth leads to healing. Let me back up let me repeat that. Truth leads to healing. So guess what? We have moved on. I have, on behalf of my ancestors, I accepted the apology and we moved on. And we family. But for some reason, when it comes to Malcolm X and the Nation of Islam, And the role that they played in the assassination of that man, they don't want to accept any type of liability. In the role that they played in the assassination of Malcolm X, creating the environment and members of a certain mosque, Nation of Islam mosque, conspiring to killing Malcolm X. Instead, they want to try to deflect to the white man. Listen, black men pulled that trigger, not white men. Black men pulled that trigger. And these two ex-members, or two men who were exonerated, does not change the fact that 4 men who were all affiliated members, card-carrying members of the NOI, killed Malcolm X. And one of the men admitted to killing Malcolm X along with 3 people he implicated, and he said that the 2 men that were exonerated were involved. That's why they were exonerated. But for some reason, it's disingenuous the way the Nation of Islam is now trying to say, oh, the FBI, gave us a pass now. They exonerated 2 men. We told you we didn't have nothing to do with it. No, they exonerated 2 men because 1 man who was a member of the Nation of Islam, who pulled the trigger, who fired one of the weapons killing Malcolm X, admitted to doing it, and he implicated 3 other members of the Nation of Islam, and admitted that the 2 men that were exonerated were involved. That's what happened. So Nation of Islam, let's just listen. It's time for healing. It's time to move on. But the more you guys try to bury Sanders, I remember when I used to play Madden for PlayStation. I think it was the O button. The O button was the spin move. The O button was the spin move. You want to juke Barry Sanders. It's like L1, R2, L1, R1. Was the juke move, and the O button was the spin move. The Nation of Islam was the L1, R1 spin move when it comes to the death of Malcolm X. Nah, brother, see, it was the FBI. It wasn't us. No, y'all still pulled the trigger. Members of your organization pulled the trigger. And after they pulled the trigger, members were still allowed to come around your organization. Like I said, Thomas Hagen, I think his name was. He also went by the name of, I think it was Talmadge, but Thomas Hagen admitted to pulling the trigger. And he implicated 3 other people who were part of the Nation of Islam, who were part of a mosque in Newark, New Jersey. And then 1 man, William Bradley, who people know was involved, was still allowed to come around and be a member of the Nation of Islam in the mosque in Newark, New Jersey. So come on, just guys, just stop it. Again, we need healing. Just admit your role so we can move on. Until next time, family, down in Samir Search for Huru. Peace.